Yes. We back at it. We back at it. Hey everyone. Hope you guys had a good time. I'm glad to be back. Man, it seems like forever already. It's only been we missed 2 weekends, and it seems like forever already. So I'm gonna tell you a few things actually. Some some just put the house in order a little bit because my crazy ass forgot that today was the Euro. Um, and I think it's the first time that England has made it since Karainki. So a lot of my UK peeps are probably going to be tuning into that Bundes ED if I was to kind of do the stream at 3. So that's the reason why I brought it up to 1. Furthermore, I'm going to just cut it short. I'll try and keep this under an hour today. I was thinking of rescheduling it like to next weekend, but I'm like, nah, man. I'm already, I don't want to lose touch, and I kind of miss it too, actually, talking to you guys and everything. So it was, I wanted to get back into the swing of things, essentially. So that's why I said, you know what? Instead of completely skipping it, I'll just run it for a little while, and so I can already tell you that today's topic that we're going to be discussing, I'm still going to try and delve into it, but Ramadan, which is the third of the Pillar series, um, I don't think we're going to be doing it justice. Okay, we're not going to be doing it justice. So I want to kind of treat it like, if someone wants to hop on and have a conversation about it, or some experiences. I also had a couple of videos which I thought were informative that I'm going to share. But we'll get to that. But first, because we haven't seen each other for a couple of weeks, I want to say happy 1st of Lulio. Okay, happy 1st of July. Happy Independence Day. So essentially, that date has a lot of significance for me personally, anyways. That it was actually obviously Somalia's independence, but it's also Canada's Independence Day. So Canada Day is actually on the 1st of July as well. So maybe I was meant to be a Somali Canadian. I don't know, but anyways, so that day was very specific. A Canadian day as well, Somali Day as well. But it was also my own personal Independence Day, if you will. That's the day I took independence from my mother's womb, and that was my birthday as well. So we were celebrating that. So I kind of left town. What we do here in my neck of the woods is we do camping and cottaging as much as we can. We get out to the into nature because it's amazing. First of all, the backdrop that we witness here is we're pretty lucky. So I went out there and camped for a week or so. And and before anyone says, "Ma'adan bay smoothie" and all that crazy stuff, I just want to let you know that my name is New Nomad. So I do come from nomads. Ano go hatagan na Somali. They were the first campers in the history of humanity. So come fight me about it. if you oppose it, come fight me about it. In any case, I wanted to delve into the subject matter and see what fasting is. So personally, in my personal opinion, I can tell you that as being young and having this celebration coming around, it was treated like a celebration, even though it felt like a punishment. I'll be honest with you. And I remember, walking to the house, you smell the sambuse, you smell the khamir, like it was really the shah was on point, like it was really good. And I always remember one of the funny things that we used to do as kids, right? We used to, yeah, it's a bit disgusting, but we used to each spit like on the ground and see whose spit is the driest to prove that we were fasting. So I know how that sounds. But essentially that's what we were doing as kids. And then but obviously all of us were like drinking water behind the wall somewhere, or eating some chocolates or whatever it is, right? Because kids are kids. Because that was presented to us as the thing to do, and that was just it. Like there was no other, options, obviously. And that's what it is, right? So we grew up in that. but it always seemed like, man, like I want to do this and it's great, but it's almost like it equates pain to worship almost. Like the more you are in discomfort, the more you are uncomfortable, the more you are out of, out of it, the more you're worshiping. And it's seen as like a quote unquote a sacrifice, which I think has its whole other how could I meaning to it. But oh yeah. Well, actually, you know what? Before I carry on too long, I wanted to kind of just have a little bit of a celebration first before I get into it too deeply. I saw this nice, beautiful video, and I wanted to really celebrate Hakura Hadaye Lulio. You know what I mean? The first of Lulio, 1st of July. And I saw this nice little video that I wanted to share with you guys, and see. Hey, what's up, Memento? Sorry, man. Like I'm on a different time, and there's not as many people as there usually is. But so do Memento. How you doing, bro? Essentially, this video I saw, and it's celebrating Hakura Hadaye de Somalia. So please, ilayar dawada. Thank ilayar dawada.
Yeah, Somalia. Yeah, oh, yeah. Somalia buried again. صاحبان كسو أكينا سلام بان أبو بحينا كروحنا جيسكاي صورة صوماليان بريت جينا صاحبان كسو أكينا سلام بان أبو بحينا كروحنا جيسكاي صورة حكيس دا سيرات بدن لما سيمو ملنا جيجيغا سبدا مقدشو وجه قاري سما سلوغي كارو من كيس إحدالو اسمع يا نصو صعدا زينة وقمر ميكارو صومالي دا كان كوعا هاقادا عيركا سري صومالي توصو سحالكو هاينا قابحي هب يلا دا سوليا صوماليا بريت جينا صاحبان كسو أكينا سلام بان أبو بحينا كروحنا جيسكاي صورة ديلا ديلا جسمي لديلا ديلا كالي لديلا ديلا جسمي لديلا ديلا حانصر جينا جيرو أو سناجيو كارو كارو شبوتيو علي سبيل إنان صديقتان هبا قمدها الصومالية متقاريان سهان سدي دالو يسارو كل جي حبتاني دو هاقادان عركا سدي صومالية توصو سحالكو هاينا قابحي طب يلا دا سوليا صوماليان بريت جينا صاحبان كسو أكينا سلام بان أبو بحينا كروحنا جيسكاي صورة ديلا ديلا جسمي لديلا ديلا كالي لديلا ديلا جسمي لديلا ديلا إيجا قروح دودا إيجا مقديشو جيجيجا Garissa, Djibouti, Hargeisa, Somali, Wenega, Kurahe, Songesta, Africa, Somalia, Garmanta, Kurahe, Songesta, Africa, Somalia, Berit again, Sahiban Kuso, Akena, Salan Ban, Obu Bahena, Kushna Giskai, Sora, Dela, Dela, Desumila, Dela, Dela. Kale la dela, dela, desumila dela, dela. Somalian berit again, sahiban kuso akena. Salan ban ubu bahena, kuruhna giskai, sora. Dela, dela, desumila dela, dela. Kale la dela, dela, desumila dela, dela.
Yes, yes. Hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I don't know, Ref. It says device not connected. You hopped on. Can you try hopping off and hopping back on, please? And I'll let you in because right now I can't do anything. It says device is not connected. So try to hop off and hop back on, please. Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to kind of start it off with something. You know what I mean? Joyous, because at the end of the day, we are Somalis. We are Somalis, and I'm always going to celebrate Somali Nimo before anything else. So I just wanted to, I saw this song, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. I don't know if you guys liked it, but I thought that was great. So yeah, what were we talking about? Ramadan. So I really kind of want to hear what you guys are, what kind of Ramadan you guys had in your households, because as you know, certain households are more strict than others, right? And so the lightheartedness with which I'm talking about this. Hey, Ref, what's up? Can you hear me? Can you go unmute yourself, please? Unmute yourself and say what's up. You're getting. Can you hear me? Yeah, Ref, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. I'm not sure if you're a man or a woman, but we can't hear you, Walalo. So either unmute yourself, try unmuting yourself, and maybe say something. But yeah, but otherwise, I'll carry on to see if we can. As soon as you can, unmute yourself and say something, please. So yeah, what was I gonna say? So different households had different levels of strictness when it came to Ramadan, right? There's certain households that it was just really just come and eat and whatever, and there's other households where after the first date they would go and perform salah, and there's different households like that. Mine, I was lucky enough that mine was a household where it was it was more laxed. It was more chilled out. I would say. The thing is, it would be normal to see in my household, for example, that after we break the fast or whatever, some people went and prayed, and other people just stayed at the table and ate their faces off, right? And that wasn't seen, or there was no pressure. So, but I do realize, and I did experience that going into my other friends or family households, that some houses there's a big chain around the food, and the food is almost used, right, as the donkey and the carrot. It's kind of like the mule and the carrot. Like the food is almost used like the carrot, so that you go and perform salah and then come back. But the thing is, like, people would go and rush through the salah, right? I don't know, and then they would rush through it, and then they would come eat. They would kind of come and try to eat, right? So, hey, Boholes Finest is in the house.
What's up, bro?
How you doing, Brusky? Yo, I messed up, bro. I messed up. What Warniyo, dadkiina UK-da iyo maarag Soomaha inaan beri hore nagu dambeysay Euro-ga. Marka waxaan idhi, oh my, it just dawned on me like yesterday, bro. I'm like, oh my God, like these mofos are not tuning in, man. I'm gonna be watching the Euro myself, my damn self. So I'm like, yo,
identical timing. Secondly, England have never won the Euro, so they've only ever won the World Cup.
Wait a minute. I hold on. Someone told me that the last Euro they won. Are you sure about that? Let me fact check you, man. In 1996,
66 was World Cup. Like they've never won, or we've never won the
Euro. Okay, well,
it's the first.
This is the first, yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time England won the Euro? Despite 9 previous appearances at the Euro, England has never won the competition. Oh my God. Yo,
we're coming up against Italia. Like that's a very experienced country. Look at it.
Oh my goodness, yeah, you guys are. It's not gonna be easy, man. It ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be easy. You know what I'm saying?
We have home advantage. It's been played in Wembley at home.
Oh, it is being played. Yeah, that's true. Wembley. Yeah, that is. Whoa. So, are you guys gonna like? The hooligans are gonna show up though, right? Like, I swear. I think football. I think England. I think hooligans. That's just a natural process of my thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
In the 90s, yeah, like slowly, it's been phased out.
Been phased out, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Do you know how they phased that out? Do you know how they phased that out?
How do you do that?
They made the tickets more expensive.
Not every John, Dick, and Harry can afford it. So yeah, the people that pay that price, then they don't want shit to go left. So that's true though. That's how you control it. That's good, man. That's good. I'm just gonna run it for an hour because I still gotta go and pick up kids.
Fine. You started the show in a very interesting way in the sense that I felt quite a contradictory mood. Because we're celebrating 1st of July and then you bring it back down to Ramadan.
I know, but that is the topic we said we're going to talk about. That is the topic at hand. I have no emotionality connection between those two things. And this is a good point you're raising, because I find sometimes we get lost into the emotion of things and lose track of, the what's what.
And things objectively without...
I can love the 1st of July, and like I said, it's not only Somalia's Independence Day, but it's also Canada's Independence Day and my own personal Independence Day. So 1st of July has a lot of meaning to me. You know what I'm saying? So I am able to have that emotion, but separated from the business at hand. Because the business at hand still has to go. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes when you sit alone, you emotionality Allah ilahi afka aana when you say something well, you know what I mean? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like they rather shit be said well than good shit being said. If that makes sense.
Ironic, right?
It's crazy. You know, so I'm going to say I think it is the 1st of July for all the reasons that I named. But at the same time, we said we were going to do this. So if we said we were going to do this, we have to do it. You know what I'm saying?
It's a big topic, and
I did do a caveat that I said that we were not going to do it justice. So caveat.
So I think tonight we can only touch on our own personal experiences.
That's it. Yeah,
as children.
أنا وانكير هالليتيلا. حسوا حندن سودوية look at Kakashi, man, always like trolling, man. Bro, I'm هسيرو مع هسه ما دقي ستي بهله ما مغش هسه. I don't know. I liked it, man. It's a nice has, and you know what I mean. He names all. It's so hard. To appreciate Somali Medina without it getting political in some circles. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't like that. I don't like that. You understand?
You mean Qabil?
Qabil, but also like politicizing. You know, okay, Somaliland, like, and you know, it gets really dark real quick, and I personally don't like that. I swear, I don't mess with that. I was born in Djibouti, cuz. You understand?
Do you celebrate Djibouti?
Of course, it's 27th of June. Actually, it was the 27th of June. I should have said something. You know, I should probably start doing Independence Day for all of them. The reason why the 1st of July is special to me is because also Canada Day and it's also my birthday. So I remember that one just by default. You know what I'm saying?
And I think Somali's one came before Djibouti's, right?
The Somalia 1960 بهي Djibouti 1977 صح. صح 1977 بهي. أنا أقول كسان نعبر مرة مرة لهذا independence. بس أنا عدناك independence موسين. You know what I mean? إيه بيسي يعني independence كذا. Like I was born with you know what I mean, God-given rights of independence. So I don't like it, but you know, it's still a celebration. I love parties, man. So anytime there's a celebration, I don't care what your reasoning is. I'm there with you. Huh?
It's an opportunity to party.
ولا له ايه قدر ملسوي مكرن له عنيو لعبيو له شكيسن له قصليو. What's so bad about that?
Listen, I love Christmas, Easter.
There you go. You exactly like me, man. So to tie it back to what I was saying, حافظ دواني وحاي هيد حافظ وقت ما سكير relax هيد مركي when it comes to Ramadan and all that. So Ramadan I عادي سامبوسها, you know, like it's a like محكو like Kakashi said here, like Ramadan is a whole vibe. Wallahi, even as a non-Muslim, it's my favorite month of the whole year because you go to sleep all day and fasah. Okay, I don't know about all that, Kakashi. That sounds like some deadbeat shit, bro. But like, I do agree that it's a whole vibe. I do agree that it's a whole vibe, and then half of the Anki so I love that. You know what I'm saying? I love the feeling of family togetherness and all that. It's great.
The problem is, don't you think 30 days is just a little bit too long? You can have a vibe for 10 days maximum. I think once it gets to about 20, people get tired.
Exactly. marka karaahiyada isku bedeshaa walaal runta haddaan isku sheegay karaahiyada isku bedeshaa waxaan arkay anigu and I experienced this myself going to Tarawih, has been some years, and I see people waxay karaahiysan in imaamka because suuradaha dhaadheer buu akhriyay. It's like, come on, man.
And we got work in the morning. My God.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And so anigu markaan arkaa waxaan ka hadlaa the human side of it baan ka hadlayaa walaalo waxaad qof kastaba heedha wuxuu beliefs garaysan yahay wuxuu aaminsan yahay say ku xidhan tahay laakiin markaan ka hadlayo the 5 pillars I want to demystify these things, man, because anigu for me and with all due respect heedha it's nothing holy about it to me personally. But I can understand that Diwali, Hindus, there's nothing holy about that to me, but I understand they're celebrating and I can celebrate with them. So my family, Christmas, same thing. It has nothing holy to me, but I'll celebrate it with you because that's your thing. I'll always be there for a party, like I said. You know what I'm saying? Like so. So what I'm saying, حافظون ويكردوين هني ولا كردوين مركا ديل ايجو صدن عشو ما واحد وبلدر الكوزان والبلدن ايال يقول لي هي عنتدا جوجي حلقه جو. And you know what their research has shown, that people actually gain weight during Ramadan. They actually gain weight because of the way they're eating. Think about it, man. You're eating when your digestive system is supposed to be asleep.
Can I ask you a question? I think, do you not think there are obvious contradiction and hypocrisy in this particular month that we're talking about, in the sense that I'll give you an example. If you ask the average Muslim, why are you fasting? They'll tell you it's to feel like a poor person, right? This is what they say. But then they end the day with a big feast, right? Like a king or a queen, right?
That's exactly what it said. Let's say. And we're supposed to learn how poor people feel by stuffing ourselves in a warm house.
And secondly, how did you gain weight? Feeling like a poor person, right?
It's a good question. Because there is a purpose. And I don't know, I think you're a bit the same as I am because I love history. Because I look at history and I see where things come from. What that does for me personally, it demystifies it and shows me the human aspect of it. So that's what I say. And by the way, خنزيرك واللي يدين مركز دسك يراهدان مسلمي خنزير بعد هو بحث خنزيرك ما عنه ماما like وحال يقول so Korean that this was disgusting, so I can't get the disgust out of my head. So ما فهمي. So ما عنه
it's almost subliminal.
It's so subliminal. So حال ليه لكن خنزير واي يهودي مسلم كانوا يعنين مركز وحال يجاب محكو ذا even Christians because they're not supposed to eat it, to be honest with you. That Bible كأخر it shows that you're not supposed to eat swine. It's because of where these religions come from. It's a hot climate. So hot climate kasi poison bakujira محكو ضاي خنزيرك. مركا خنزيركو وحاسيون on Europe, East Europe, the coldest places. It's a very cheap meat. لكن مركا محكو ضاي freeze grace. It's just like any other meat. It's just a regular meat. لكن hot places, hot climates, it accentuates that bacteria that it carries that can kill us or that can harm us. So it has a medical reasoning behind it for space and time. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I link this to something? I don't know if you know why in the religion of Islam, why they ban dogs. Do you have any idea why that's the case?
I know there is a hadith. What was it?
But I'm trying to look at the origins of it. From what I heard, from the historical point of view, the dogs at that time all had rabies. You see?
Okay.
Then they tried. Then they made that into like dogs are impure. They had to bring religious justification for it. But the same way you're talking about the swine and in the heat, and then religions banning it, it's the same thing that they had with dogs. Does that make sense or not? Because they
It
didn't
makes
have the
perfect sense.
necessary
Perfect sense.
vaccine to protect themselves
Right.
from the dog. So it's just
Right.
easier to say it's haram, right?
That's it.
To protect, or I don't know, whatever they were trying to achieve. But you're right. There is a humanistic element thinking
At all
behind
times. At all times.
There's a rational.
Yeah. And and one of the reasons, like somehow, for example, in our how could I and I heard this from an historian as well. Like he actually went into the words bidih midig.
Right and left.
Midig waxay ahayd taad ku cunaysid, bidixdana taad xarka iskaga meeraysaa in other words. And that was to differentiate because it was about survival. You didn't want bacteria in your body, right? So these things have a survival aspect to it. And I'm going to tie this back into Ramadan. Why was fasting practiced? And you have to understand what I had. History the Sabians were the ones doing it. So the Muslims came after, right? كبعدوا بأي نقطة محمد waxay Muslim ku sameeyaan laakiin Sabian ka horreeyay oo sameyn jiray.
Almost like a homage to them.
Yeah, well, they had the same environment, somehow. So they had the same quote unquote obstacles, somehow. So the way they celebrated things would have to coincide, because all of these celebrations, honestly, if you go to their root, is whenever we were planting food, or whenever we were sowing the seeds, it was attached to a survival activity. So the sun, the dark, Maka fasting, just to finish that off, is that it was a way, it was bisha in bisha la somayu وحايد بال محكر هذاي حرات سنو بحدد مش نو أركتماين وقرح وين there's no water, there's droughts somehow. So fasting was a way to prolongate their rations until they save grace, until they to make it last. So that they would fast.
But that has no relations to a country where it's lush. They have farms, so
absolutely
they're taking
a very
localized thing
culture and then expanding that on and attaching a spiritual realm to it. And so that's basically how I want to discuss this, because honestly, Finland, your freaking sunsets and sunrises are not the same in Mecca.
True.
It's just not
true.
So what are you going to do, fast for 12 hours?
I think even I heard in some places like Helsinki is like 18 hours. And
like, and even if you're in the Arctic, you know what I mean? Like you can go a whole month without sun.
By the way, from Germany, they were talking about the dangers of having underage kids fasting.
Yes.
So that is something that I think we need to touch upon maybe in the future, the effect on children, because it can be quite dangerous when you tell a young child no food and no drink for up to 12, 14 hours. So to me, I've always seen it as some sort of programming from a young age.
Yeah.
You're taught to be obedient from a young age. I think you've seen like the police force, right? The military, they shave their head, right?
Right.
They shave their head. So it's a technique that they're using to, if people can control your food and drink, they can control other things. That's the point I'm making. Because food and drink, you're dealing with
your survival. It's literally like what the warlords in Africa do, man. They intercept the world, the world aid for these people, and they can actually basically tell them what to do because they literally have their life in their hands. And you're right. Like for kids, for people that are that don't, and I'll be fair, because within, I think in the hadith in the Quran, it says that if you're sick, you can either feed someone or you can forego the practice. But what is happening, and I've noticed this is that it puts you in such a place where even you see some sick people that are still trying to fast even though they were given an out. They're still fasting.
Element of guilt involved,
exactly, because they're guilt ridden. They are guilt ridden. Well, look at what Ray James is saying. In my school, Lebanese were fasting at the age of 9. So how in the hell is that kid supposed to grow properly at
Let
the little height?
me push
Yeah.
back on him. Let me push
Let's
back
go.
on it. If they can get married at 9, they should be able to fast at 9.
Okay. Those are, it's hard. It's very hard to. How could I debate that? You're right. I mean, if you're gonna make the kid an adult, then he's an adult all around. No, you're absolutely right. But
It is what
it's
it is.
just
Yeah.
and so a lot of times there's going to be problems, especially in the West. Especially in the West, when you see the countries don't know how to approach this, because people have religious rights. Like there's also children's rights in these countries.
True. Yeah.
So those two are in a collision course. The other,
Well, I was actually going to speak to you about my personal experiences growing up.
Go ahead, bro.
Fasting and how I experienced. I think just like you, I grew up in a very liberal household where these things weren't enforced. However, I think my parents, we did it more out of fit in with the Somali community. You didn't want to be seen as you didn't want to be seen as a so it looks bad on the family. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Because Somali, they like to talk, right?
Yeah. Somali internet is faster than any internet. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
or at least we have that perception. Yeah.
True. So whenever I was at school, for example, when I was at primary school, secondary school, when you're at school, it's not really relevant, you see, because you're dealing with other things at school. You're learning your subjects, you're having fun at school. So that it feels like something irrelevant in your life that you just need to do. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, yes.
So when you go home, then we have a big feast, and then it's just eat, sleep, and repeat tomorrow, and then we just continue. And that goes. And one thing I could never understand was even my mom. So this is what I want to ask you, Nomad.
Yeah, go ahead.
My mom is probably she's not religious at all. Okay. My father's not religious at all as well. However, in this month, they adopt like an alter ego where they become super chefs. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
So even the most liberal families feel the pressure.
That's it.
Of having to, if they were playing music, they can no longer play music. If they were, I don't know, man, whatever they were doing, they have
anything that brought you joy, you gotta stop.
You gotta stop. And then you can go back to it after. After the 30 days are finished, you can then go back to. So it feels there's a constant contradiction going on.
And I'll even add to that and say that sometimes I felt vindicated for doing bad shit because I was gonna make up for it during Ramadan, if that makes sense. Like you see the biggest dudes like I'm talking the dudes that are drug dealing, okay, for lack of better terms. Like these are, these guys are in the game deep, you know what I'm saying? And they're popping bottles at the club. لكن رمضان كي مسوق لي صاحب كي polyester dress time.
So the question is to you is, so it's a powerful tool, Maka.
It is.
It can take on all.
Well, look at what Led is saying. My mom was fasting during COVID with the flu.
That's crazy.
Everyone was telling her to keep going. I was disgusted. Think about that. Just think of the mindset that you need to have to say your life is not important. Is not as important as what you're supposed to be doing. This ritualistic thing that you're doing. Come on, it's crazy, bro. They have diabetes. They might have had a bit, any kind of other illnesses.
Can I add to what Sid just said?
Sure, for sure.
I think the way I look at it is they glorify dying in the month of Ramadan, you see?
That's true.
So once you do that, I can see why they want to push themselves.
So are you saying that's almost like in a suicidal way, in a backward way?
It's a fantastic way to go out, basically. That's how I'm putting it.
Yeah, because I've seen people, pictures from the Haram in Mecca and other different mosques when people died in their sujood, and that is shared throughout all of the WhatsApp groups. You know what I'm saying? And it's shown as something to. Alhamdulillah. Oh, that guy. Oh my God. Yeah. This guy lost his life. So the thing is, they're seeing that as so I mean, there's martyrdom built into it. You understand?
all acts. I remember a couple of years ago in Saudi Arabia. Do you remember when the crane collapsed?
Yes. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story after. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
During that, I had personally sent my my parents to Hajj.
Wow.
Well, you don't understand. Like the 24 hours that I was, because the phones were jammed up, right? And we were trying to get a hold of them, right? Because you don't know what's going on. They're not the best at communication, bro. Like, so we were not able to get through to them, to their phones, because the lines were jammed up. They think of the whole family's state of mind. You know what I mean? Like, do they?
You don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is,
and someone had the audacity, to come up to me and say, "Oh, well, like you don't understand that the rage and the way I had to swallow it. Like I felt rage. I wanted to punch that. Like I want him to, I wanted to do something to him physically. And I'm not a violent dude. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, and in his mind, that was a comforting thing to say. In his mind, he's not being a bad person. You know what I mean? He's not. He's just thinking, well, so long story short, we got a hold of them like 24 hours later when the whole thing happened. With Nayan, they were at the hotel. They were good. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, thank God. But the thing is that 24 hours, like just think of the state of the whole family. You know what I mean? Like we were losing our minds.
But they, instead of looking at the health and safety, what went wrong, they attribute that to an act of God. You see? So the whole thing was just brushed under the carpet. People were paid out, and that was the end of that. So what I'm trying to show to you is martyrdom is connected to this prayer, is connected to fasting, it's connected to the pilgrimage, Hajj, it's connected to all the pillars, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. So you're kind of ahead of me in this state, because the way I was going to tie up the whole the 5 pillar series essentially was that every single thing about these pillars, to me, in my humble opinion, seemed very militaristic. You understand? It's how you shape and indoctrinate an army to conquer. So it has conquest built into it. Because what we have to understand, and I always repeat this, Muhammad was not just a prophet to many, but he was also a general. He was a leader of a nation. He was a conqueror. So these things, some of that, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. It comes with a lot of, he's gotta show his might. And the way to do that is to have a strong army. And so if the army believes, that this Quran and this religion that he's preaching is the ultimate, the more they believe that, the more they're willing to die. And a soldier that's willing to die, I'm sorry, but is the bravest one on that battlefield.
Well, I think you've hit it. The nail on the head. You're right. And I was actually going to add one more little bit of nuance to this conversation. I come from a slight Marxist background, so I try to look at this even from the angle of class.
Right.
So even when I look at, when you say to people Ramadan, how people experience Ramadan is different. People's experiences of Ramadan is different in relation to their class. So if you have money or your family is well off, your experience of Ramadan is going to be different to if you don't have money, you don't have anything in terms of materialism I'm talking about.
Right.
Same thing with Hajj. If you come from a well-off family, you're going to have a fantastic package, right, of Hajj.
That's it.
If you come from a particularly poor family, or if you look at maybe these people that come from India or Bangladesh or Pakistan or Indonesia, they go for these packages that are... So what I'm trying to show you is even this religion, how people experience it, can be tied to class.
Of course. Speaking of that, just to kind of bring it back to Hajj a little bit, there was that crane falling was after devastating. And I mean, I refused to even see the videos, bro. I was like,
horrible.
It was horrible, man. But there was another instance that happened where the prince of how could I the bin Salman was going to Hajj. Okay, I'm not sure if it was him, but it was one of the royal family people that was going to Hajj. And what they have done is that they had to create a way where he could walk Somaha. And
Like
by
a circle.
doing
Like a circle. Like a circle.
yeah. So they had to create and move the crowd. Somaha. They imagine thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people all moving towards one way. If you stop that dead, what happens? What happened is like there was a what's the emut, like I'm losing the English word there, but a stampede. You know what a stampede is, right?
Absolutely, yes.
A stampede ensued, and hundreds of people died, bro. So that ties in perfectly to the class system that you're talking about. Even to go and worship God had that. Even though we were made to believe, let's be honest, that there's no class system, everybody's equal. حرم بلا ورحيدين يحي مكل جرينش كتاجر كاي كفقير كا وبين وات كلا جرنسا أنا تجي لفت تجي وين تجي. I'm not talking about something I don't know about. I was there, so you see the people who are actually doing things.
Even you look at you look at even the people who own slaves and the people who don't own slaves. They're different classes, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is not something that it's shy away from. I saw people being and it's so weird because at the hotel where I was at, to go from that hotel to the haram, I had to go through so many the kids and people, women and children that were all from either Nigeria, Mali, like West Africa. And the weird thing was they were all missing a limb. They were all missing either a hand or you know what I mean? And
they're begging on the streets.
And they were begging on the streets. They were begging on the streets.
It's probably a boiling hot day, and
absolutely.
I know exactly.
It gives you shivers, but here's the thing. Here's the catch, right? Because you are made to feel like you're in this superior state of mind. You feel that you can give. So it's a very superficial spirituality. I feel like you giving, but not understanding that there's a reason why these people are here. And sometimes there was people behind that. Even in India, it happens. Whenever there's a lot of people and tourists, there's going to be those kinds of scams that are being ran, where kids are being pimped out, right? Because they get they go to beg. So in India, what they do is I don't know if you ever saw that movie, Lion. It's a great movie. I don't know if you saw it, but you should see it. And they take the kids, and I didn't get it from that. There's documentaries as well, but they actually they take the kids' sights out, so they make the kids blind. So a blind kid will garner more sympathy from tourists than a non-blind kid now. You know what I mean? Things like that. And it's at that level. Like humans can be the very best, and they can also be the very worst.
Let me add one more thing to that. So when you see this person who's missing a limb, and then you give money, you're not really interested in changing the political system that caused that, right? That's the point.
That's exactly it.
You're not.
Nor do you even think that far, because it's almost like self-gratification. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So you give. That means you feel you've done your job. You feel happy. But it's presented as a selfless act.
Exactly.
But it's not.
Exactly. Like something interesting that I heard is during Eid Ramadan if you go to Saudi Arabia, there's so many rich guys or rich people essentially that slaughter so many thousands of sheep.
True.
A livestock to give away. And the funny thing is, and as Somalis, we're one of their biggest suppliers of that.
Livestock.
Livestock, and we're like, we're up there, right? And what they don't realize they're doing is that by buying out so many of these sheep there, the regular poor people that they won't be feeding now are finding themselves having higher cost meat that they have to deal with. The meat cost is higher. So what is this creating? This is creating that the poor people that are not going to be the rich guy is going to just take a whole bunch of sheep, and for that day the market value of the sheep or the goat is going to go up there. You get what I'm saying?
But they don't care about that.
But the poor people that just want to celebrate Eid and half a goat into soup, so So it's almost as though it's self-gratification for that rich dude, but he doesn't see how he's affecting and really encountering what he's saying that, he's fighting. Like it's weird. It's a bit convoluted.
No.
You know what I mean? So
I'm thinking about it. But you're right. Driving up the costs for poor people, and then we're making the act holy at the same time.
That's it. Like there was the shoe brand that I really liked. It used to call back in the day. So back in the day, I used to be a bit of a skater. Okay, don't judge me. But and you have specific shoes. So these shoes, they were called I forgot what they're called. But anyways, so they had this thing where when you buy a pair of shoes, right, they would give a pair of shoes to a kid in Africa, right? And later on, I realized what essentially they're doing is they're killing the economy for the shoe producers that are in Africa, just by flooding the market with all these free shoes.
Supply and demand, yeah.
And the thing is that day, like I was like, I stopped buying them after that. But like, I really realized what we do has to be thought out rather than just self-gratifying at that moment.
Absolutely.
So essentially, how could I Ramadan the way it's celebrated and things like that. Well, me and you are probably the same. I'll probably go to the house and I'll probably love what the food that I'm smelling, the fact that the family is there, and it's a great thing. You know what I mean?
You know me. I celebrate anything. You know me.
Bro, exactly.
I don't discriminate. By the way, I was going to add something else as well. Maybe if we have time or maybe in the next episode, we can even touch on, in Muslim majority countries, how the government also controls Ramadan, right? They close the shops. There are penalties, right? If you're caught eating outside during the daylight, even it enters into the control of the government.
Yes, absolutely. I've seen these videos where in Arabaha, most of the workers are Hindus or whatever, right? They're not even Muslim. And they're eating during Ramadan, and they're getting slapped up like little kids. Like, it's crazy.
And they close it throughout the whole daylight, basically, and you can't buy even essential food sometimes.
There you go. So it's crazy. Haji Naj said, I went to Umrah, and the hotel manager in Mecca offered liquor and prostitutes if me or any of my bros needed any. Literally a stone throw from the Kaaba.
Man, he missed out, man.
Yo. Okay, I'm gonna share this then. Now, yo, Haji, listen to this, Haji. Okay, I'm gonna say this. It's hilarious that his name is Haji, by the way. But here's the thing: I was in a hotel, in a good hotel, and the guy running it, or the hotel manager there, he was from Mauritania. Okay, he was from Mauritania. And he wanted to learn he wanted to learn English. So he's talking to me in like broken English, and I was trying to like help him out and stuff. And he was helping me with Arabic. I don't know. I was like, you know what I mean? And then I used to smoke cigarettes, right? I used to smoke cigarettes. So they mentioned because I said, damn man, like I'm really like I'm fiending. I want to smoke, you know what I'm saying? So I go to the hotel manager. Do you see it? Let's listen to each other, man. I'm like, yo, any cigarettes around here? He's like, don't worry. What kind do you need? And I'm straight up and down. He's like, what kind do you need? He's like, don't worry. The funny thing is, I with my own eyes saw a police officer in Mecca smoking underneath a no smoking sign. And these kind of people don't adhere to it. They just want to appeal themselves to a higher thing that they can never meet. You know what I mean? And so I was laughing. I'm like, here I am smoking my cigarette with my shah, you know what I mean, over there, because, it was amazing. It's super hot, but it was amazing. And then I'm like, this hotel manager, he didn't want to talk about the royal family because I brought that up. And he's like, yo, we don't talk about that here. Right? I'm like, oh shit, my bad. I always see lobby. And then, but if you want drinks or cigarette, but like Haji is saying prostitutes, it's all fair game. I saw the funny thing. I saw Hajj getting the funniest thing, and I was gonna talk about it in the Hajj episode, but whatever. We're vibing. I went into the grocery store, and I saw with my own eyes Budweiser beer that was at the grocery store closest to the Haram. I'm like, what the hell? And then I looked at it, and it's
Non-alcoholic,
zero
yeah.
alcohol. It's non-alcoholic, right? But the business of Budweiser, the like 3/4, if not more, 99% of their business is alcohol. Am I crazy? Like that's what they do, right? So why have it like here? I understand. But I peeped game. I said, this is all business, man. This is what it is. It's business. It's business. Is all it is, bro. What's up, little man? Yeah, I want to say what's up to little man, man. Big ups to you, bro. Yeah, he's in the chats, man. Hop on, man. Well, actually, you know what? We're finishing up in 9 minutes, so hop on if you can for the last bit. But yeah, always good to talk to little man. But yeah, you know what I mean? Did you know, Buhal, a little bit of and we're really deviating at this point, but it's a little bit of piece of history that I want to share with you. You know, Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola, the company Coca-Cola.
Yep.
You know, during the Nazi reign, the Nazi regime, you know that they made up a whole brand just so they can sell to the Nazis because they didn't want to tarnish their image, and that was Fanta. That's how Fanta came about.
Business.
So Coca-Cola didn't want to lose all the freaking money that was in Germany and all the Nazi-occupied territories. So they said, okay, let's just switch it up. We're not going to tarnish Coca-Cola. Good name, but we're going to sell them Fanta.
Even, you know, Hugo Boss, they designed the suits for the Nazis.
There you go.
They wanted a little bit of business. But going back to our topic.
Yeah, bring me back. Bring me back.
I'll bring it back. So earlier on, you mentioned something. I had one more thing. Budweiser's, right? Let me deal with that point about Budweiser's. To me, from a young age, one thing I never understood, and no one can explain it to me until this day, which is, why is wine evil now, but then it's holy later on in the next life? Why is sex bad now, but it's fine in the next? All the things that we deem as evil and bad,
right,
are all fantastic and what we aspire to in the next life.
Exactly. Just some people say, why wait?
I would at least assume if something's evil, it's evil inherently, and it's just, that's it. You don't dream about it later on in a different life.
That's what it is, though, right? That's because the thing is and what is promised? Let's be honest. What's promised in the afterlife? You get a whole bunch of virgins. Like that's promised, right? But that's promised to who? To men. Who is fighting in this military mostly? It's men. So you make these things appealing to men. So that's why I believe it's by men for men.
But here's the thing, though. But you have to restrict it in order to make it appealing.
Well, what you're restricting is what you know they want. So what you know for a fact that they want now, you make it seem like, no, sacrifice now and leave it for later. Because later it's going to be so much better. You're not just going to have a bottle of wine. Nah, nigga, you get rivers. You're not just going to have one woman. Nah, man, you're going to have a whole harem.
So people are willing to kill for that, basically, then.
Bro, and I've seen these videos of these kids, Somalia, Somali. Oh, they're happy. They have this almost robotic thing about them. And their eyes are glazed over because they're going towards death, because they've been made to believe that there's so much niceness waiting for them on the other side. Do you know who else used to do that? Walalo. And I don't know if you've seen the series on I think it's HBO or whatever, but it's called Vikings.
Yes.
Vikings would go into battle hoping to go to Valhalla. We're gonna drink in Valhalla. They would go into war wanting to die, not just fearing to die. They're not fearing death at all. They're actually inviting it. They're wanting to die. So it's gonna run through you. It's, you know what I mean? It's gonna run through you. So they were made a promise to be with the heroes of war later on. And this is nothing new for humanity. This happened all the time.
Basically, this is what cults use, basically. It's like a cult.
Well, you know, I like who said that? I forgot who said it, but it said that a cult is a guy that builds up a following, a huge following, and in a religion, that guy is dead. That's really the only difference. So, you know what I mean? But
Yes.
I understand that people have this spiritual thing about them. Now, the other thing before we finish, I wanted to touch upon is the fact that intermittent fasting, and I'm sure you heard of that. Like, there's this new phase of intermittent fasting. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say something about that. Carry on though.
And it's presented as something that's healthy, and you know what? It is healthy. Like I'm not that. There's no doubt about that. If you actually cleanse your body and once a week you fast and you actually, you know what I mean? In fast, I'm not talking about like no drinking. Like drink water, but fast, abstain from food. You know, because your body is 70 or over 70%, liquid. So you still need to drink liquid or water, but abstain yourself from food. I do that, man. Okay, it feels good. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's the consistent. It's this consistency of this 30 days and having to eat brackets of time where you can't eat or drink the rest of the time. So that's the problem. The problem is the continuous way of doing it in Ramadan is the issue. Fasting in itself, but it's a good thing. But if it's done properly, Can
I add one thing? I totally agree with you. And one more thing that I maybe would like to add is when you're doing intermittent fasting, you don't turn into a super sheikh, right?
That's the other thing.
That's the thing. And
you leave people well alone. Yeah.
And your family's life stays the same. You're not imposing something on other people. You're fasting, you're doing it yourself. The problem with this thing is it's the entire community that is doing it and enforcing it.
And the imposition of it,
that's the problem. I don't mind doing 15, 16 hours of intermittent fasting, but it's when there's guilt trip added to it, when there is monitoring added to it, when
your whole afterlife is put in question. Like think about that. Like your whole so that's the thing. And then it takes on this, it mutates into this thing where people, I don't know if you're listening to the beginning of the stream, but what I said was, I remember as kids, we used to spit on the ground and see whose spit was driest. That's a level that we would go to prove, no, like every little motherfucker would run behind the wall and like eat and drink. I mean, that, as a matter of fact, that's how you knew who your real rollies were. It's the people you cheated Ramadan with. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Can I add one more cynical point?
Absolutely.
With intermittent fasting, you see the effects. So maybe you're trying to lose weight, maybe you're trying to gain muscle. But with this thing, we've been doing it for maybe 10 years, 12 years, and my life has not improved.
There you go. Like, what the hell? What's the goal here, right?
It's not working, basically.
It's not working. Yo, man, well, I can't thank you enough for jumping on, Kazi. I really can't thank you.
Well, I saw like there was like 2 people on here, and I was like, nah, this show can't be derailed.
No, man, thanks so much. And because you know what I was gonna do, I was actually gonna just talk about it and like share a few videos and say my piece on it. But our conversation is always much more enlightening and enriching. So I would love. Thank you.
I would love the next one.
Yeah,
we actually start from the origins, the paganistic things, and we can really...
no, absolutely, we're gonna have a more in-depth conversation the next one. Well, like I said, we did not do it justice,
and obviously I come here to listen. I want to hear other people, the way they experience Ramadan when they were young, so it's all interesting.
No, absolutely, Walalo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bohole. And you know what, I hope you guys win today. Bring it home. I don't know if that's your home, the home for the cup. Like
it is. You heard, little man. It's coming home.
It's coming home. I saw this old Somali dude that was being interviewed, and he was like, "Coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home." Yo, little man is jumping off now. Yo, we're about to close off, son.
Yo, what up, Nomad? You right? Yeah.
How you doing, little man?
Today we're having an English final, innit?
Yeah, that I know, bro.
That's in the final, bro.
That's why, man, Buholder saved the stream because we had a good conversation about Ramadan, but I said that we're not going to do it justice. I said I was going to do it for an hour, so I'm going to close out now. But we're back again. I just didn't want to lose the habit, you know what I'm saying? Because I haven't done it in 2 weeks. And next week, but I said, nah, still, be there and just at least, even though it's like different times and whatever, right? So, but yeah, all that to say, guys, man, I'm signing out. But I know how to till next Sunday We're
Sunday,
going to be back at 3 p.m. And hopefully, Anugo, I'm cheering for Italia. I'm telling you right now, guys. I'm cheering for Italia. And I want to be upfront about this.
Yeah.
Why you're there? You know,
Well, what's the score there? Predict the score now. Predict the score.
Okay, I'll predict the score. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because Anugo, I'm on the team I wanted to win the whole thing was Netherlands. Like, they let me down.
Okay.
Netherlands. But like, the reason why I'm going with Italia is because they're the blackest white people I know. So they're
okay. Yeah.
And I think they're gonna win. Yeah, they're gonna win 3-2. Not overtime.
All right, I'm saying 2-1 England.
2-1 England. Yeah. What about you?
I'm gonna go for 0-0, and then we'll win 1-0 in extra time.
Oh man, no, Kush is coming in and saying it's coming Rome, weird. It's coming Rome. Yeah, Kush is a proper troll.
No yard.
It's coming Rome, weird. Niku.
Bro, the Prime Minister said if they win, apparently we're getting a bank holiday.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, well, I hope you get your holiday, man, but I hope you don't. Because like Galdit said, like Kush said, it's coming Rome. Yeah, I like that.
Yo,
letting you know, Kush, I'm using that shit all throughout because a lot of my friends are going for England, so I'm gonna use that. It's coming Rome, But yo, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for coming on, and I know how to the next Sunday. And until then, Somali Nimo till Dimo boys. Have you know an accent.